Hey guys, welcome to the show. This is Forrest and Kyle with the Prepping Academy. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. It's Friday night, August the 5th, 2016. Thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for being here.
That's Kyle. I'm Forrest. We're live every Friday night here on the Prepper Broadcasting Network. If you're listening to us on the Blog Talk Radio, please jump over to prepperbroadcasting.com so you can join us in the chat room, and make sure when you join us, put your name in so we can identify you. If you're a friend or foe, just let us know. That's all we ask. You can call in as well and listen, and if you have a question, the number is 347-202-0228. That's 347-202-0228. And if you have a question, just press 1 and we'll put you in the queue. Well, Kyle, how you doing?
Not too bad. Not too bad at all.
Have a good week?
No.
No? You got your truck.
I do. I have my truck. My truck is running very,
He has
very well.
a EMP-proof truck.
Yeah.
That's just a death ticket.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, I'd like to make it bulletproof, but I'm not.
Yeah.
You know, it had a lot of weight to it.
You got your truck. Anything else happening?
No, not really. Next week's my big week.
What's happening next week? Oh,
it's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
It's my
You
birthday.
turn 14.
What else do we have going on next week?
Oh, our prepper meeting.
Yep.
Is that what you were thinking?
No, I mean, I was thinking of a couple other things, but I mean, mainly my birthday, but then the prepper meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we appreciate you joining us. Again, we want to make this fully interactive, so join us in the chat room. Give us a call. If you're listening to this by podcast, we have a website we'd like for you to check out. Join our mailing list. It's at preppingacademy.com. We're having a huge giveaway right now. We're giving away, it's like $450 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to randomly select someone that has joined our mailing list. I think we have that set for September or October. I don't know when that's set. But it's going to be huge. So go over there and join it so we can be interactive and get to know each other. So let's start out with this. Are you ready, Kyle?
Go for it.
This is, okay, first of all, I am not much of a conspiracy theorist. I mean, I just don't go there. I don't, my brain, I just can't waste brain cells to go there. There's too much to prepare for.
See, the difference is I have a lot of brain cells to waste.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. I use my time to prepare, to train, and not think about these 7,000 ways
to die.
To die, yes.
Yeah. Well, have you ever taken the Myers-Briggs? I think we talked about this before.
I did, and yes, I did.
Yeah. So I'm an INTP. That means all I do is overthink everything.
Okay.
It never shuts off.
I don't remember what I am, and I don't. So, but anyway, so we're going to go into our segment we do every week. It's called Today's Conspiracy Theory with Kyle. And of course, he tells a conspiracy theory that he either is very aware of, he likes, he believes, and I make fun of him. So that's kind of how this goes. Yeah. And so what's your conspiracy theory this week, Kyle?
All right. So there's a ton of things going on in the news, and I'm not even remotely worried about it, because whatever happens, happens. Whoever gets elected doesn't really, it affects me, but I'm getting to a point where it's like, I don't care that much. Mm-hmm. But I keep reading all this stuff on the news. You know, I even see people put little things up on there, in the chat room and stuff like that. Everyone's always talking about Planet X, Planet Nibiru, or they're talking about, other interstellar objects coming towards and stuff like that. So I came across this thing past week. I told you about it. We talked about this guy talking about 5 waves of energy and solar magnetars and these incoming like gamma ray bursts and all this stuff. And supposedly there's one that's supposed to hit the Earth December 26th this year. Mm-hmm. And this guy is saying it's going to cause multiple CMEs. It would be, creating like a Carrington event, basically an EMP. It would make chemicals more volatile to exploding, earthquakes, volcanoes, etc., etc. So I'm trying to research that. I find stuff like that very interesting because there are certain things in there that can be made to line up with biblical things and science.
He does try to make it.
He does.
Make it.
He does. But I mean, at the same point, you have the man himself. You have Jesus literally saying there will be shakings in the heavens. Now, of course, there could be esoteric terms to that. That could mean, in a lot of parts of the Bible, it talks about waves and unrest in the ocean, and it's actually talking about multitudes of peoples. It could be talking about in the heavens. It could be talking about nations and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm researching. It's very interesting.
You sent me the video. I watched part of the video.
Yes.
And the guy said the first wave hit last year.
Yeah.
And of course he picks the day that several explosions happen around the world.
Yeah.
That was a good day to pick. I mean, if I was going to pick a good day.
He had been talking about it 3 years in advance.
Oh, so did he actually predict that day before it happened?
He predicted that time window.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's people that you're gonna have dumb luck every once in a while. There was probably about 1,000 people who came out and said, out of 7 billion people on the planet, hey, I predicted the earthquake in Fukushima.
Right.
And then they try to have some claim to fame on YouTube with that.
But one of the ones was the plant exploding in China.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't know apparently what happened. It just.
Well, some people were saying that we attacked them.
Right.
Some sort of economic
and there was
retaliation.
something in Texas. I mean, there were several places in the United States, and he is claiming that the wave hit, and because the power of the waves, the gamma rays, mixed with some chemicals and made them explode.
Yeah.
And earthquakes started happening that day as well. All kinds of things started happening.
And so we have set records.
We have set records.
Looking at volcanism.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. And so he's predicting the next wave, wave 2, is December 26th. So you get all these great toys, these gadgets, and the next day they're useless.
Yeah. So it's like
that could really destroy a holiday break.
Yeah. You get through the first EMP, everything's packed away, and then the second one hits, and you're like, oh crap, my PlayStation's not broke.
That is interesting. Now, I'm not saying I'm going with your conspiracy theory because it's a bunch of crap.
No, don't yet. I told you I'm still trying to vet it.
It's a bunch of crap. But anyway, you did bring up multiple EMPs, and I've never even really thought about that because EMP happens. I break open my Faraday cages, get everything out, start communicating with my group, and all of a sudden another one hits.
Yeah.
That tells me I got to have a plan. So I haven't thought through. I've never even thought of that. So I have learned something from this 5 ways of energy.
5 waves of death, or whatever we want to call it.
It's called. Yeah.
On the bright side, I won't have to go to work. And day after Christmas, come on, that's like the worst day.
Oh, that is. So anyway, hey, just for you listeners, the Olympics is not on right now.
They canceled it because of mosquitoes, right?
Yeah, it's been postponed to tomorrow night. So no need to tune us out and go watch the Olympics. I mean, let's just call it out.
Yeah.
There's mosquitoes flying around. They were making fun of Hope Solo. Did you see that?
No.
Because she made this bubble go in her bed, took all this spray, and so while they're playing soccer, they actually mocked her. She didn't.
I'm just waiting to see like mosquitoes carrying off children.
I'm waiting for diapers. I mean, the water's nasty, they say, but I don't know.
No, I would believe it.
So which is nastier, Atlanta when we had it there, or?
Some hate mail.
I know. Well, Atlanta. I mean, I lived in Atlanta for a short time, and
bless your heart.
It was not a. Pretty
I gotta tell you, that is my favorite Southern term.
What?
Bless your heart.
Bless his heart.
That could be.
That means that he's an idiot, and he can't help it.
Yeah. Oh wait, I think my in-laws say that about me. No, I'm just kidding.
Bless his heart. Oh, so tonight we're going to cover. What are we covering tonight?
Emergency planning.
Family emergency planning.
Yep.
And so I had on my notes here and we discussed this a little bit, but I had on to start with the end at mind. Meaning, you're apparently a prepper. You're afraid of something. You're preparing for something. Everyone everyone's preparing. If it's a tornado, a hurricane, whatever they are
Yeah.
preparing for, first thing I said was, whatever that is you think it might happen, that it might happen, that's what you need to prepare for, and then work your way backwards. If you're preparing for an EMP, all of a sudden there'll be no communications or very limited communications. Your family's going to be in all different directions. Okay, what kind of plan would I have to put in place to get communications between the family, to get everyone together, and then to act on a bug out or whatever is next?
Yeah.
Now we know all family emergency plans are not EMPs. Sometimes it's uncle goes to the hospital, or a car wreck, or just. But still, communication is key in every plan.
Well, and I think too, I mentioned this to you last week, is how dependent we've become as a society on our gadgets. Everyone is always within reach, within seconds. I mean, some people you have family on the phone, you can look up, find my friends, and boom, there you go. You have GPS on where everybody is. What happens whenever you go from that complacency of knowing it's a touchscreen away to I have no idea where anyone is.
Right.
And worse off, what happens whenever all of the other people, the sheeple will say, they realize, holy crap, I don't even have my GPS working, let alone knowing where everyone else is. They're going to freak out.
Right. Yep. So my ideas start with the end in mind. So let's go through some of the notes that you have down, and there So there are many different plans and many different aspects of a plan.
Yeah.
Meaning, you could just have a plan for yourself.
Yeah.
Situational awareness when you go out. What happens if a gunman comes in the door? What am I going to do? What happens if my car runs out of gas and I'm on the interstate? So there are personal plans. Then there are family, local, regional, national, and so let's talk about personal plan, and that could include your family. I guess personal would include your family on that one.
Yeah, personally, it's kind of taking a step back and doing a risk assessment of your life. So, say, are there, friends, family, coworkers, acquaintances that are assets or risks within your life? And I think that's one of those questions we've had where. Obviously, as you become a prepper and you get deeper into it, I've often said, prepping's a lifestyle. It's not a hobby. And your friends are going to change, and some of your family's even going to change. Because I can tell you right now, I love my family. I go out of my way. I'll help them do anything. There are ones that I would not.
Let's talk about them. What are their names?
There are ones, even my wife has expressed this. There are ones that I would not feel comfortable having my wife and my son.
So do you have like a VIP list? Okay, these are the important people in my life.
Yeah. There are friends that trump family, honestly, because they're going to be a bigger asset to us in the grand scheme of things for survival.
Okay. So do they know that they're in your plans? Some do, some don't?
90%.
90%. Okay. So in that personal plan, what kind of things do you cover just for your family, your VIP list? What kind of have you done a communication plan? Have you done a evacuation plan? What kind of?
Some of them have it.
Okay.
For some of my close friends that live out of state, and they have numbers, alternative ways of communication. Obviously, ham radio and stuff like that. I'm not as well versed as say like yourself, so I'm not going to be using ham radio to get across there. But other apps, phone, email. Things of that nature. And they also have basically a little cache of information that gives them addresses, maps, different routes, and then alternate locations where, say, if something happens, if event 1 happens, we meet at this location. If event 2 happens and you can't make it to this location, bypass it, go to this location.
Right. So a plan. And the plan covers communication, destinations, maybe, and we'll get into that a little bit more in depth at the end about I have a a PDF that I've been working on that actually kind of goes through some of that stuff. It's almost you fill in the blank, and it helps you plan your communication plan and where you're going to meet, all this kind of stuff. So you got your VIP list, and does everyone have? I mean, one of the basic things you should have is paper. You got to have your wife's
Like
phone
TP
number.
or
Well, that too, but your wife's phone number,
Yeah.
your Uncle Jed's phone number, your friend's phone number, because your cell phone, it is possible your cell phone might be out,
no, yeah.
and others might not be.
I could drop it. I could throw it.
You could
Never
drop
know.
it in water, and you're like, oh my gosh, I need to call. Who do I call?
Yeah,
I mean, we don't. I mean, how many phone numbers do you actually memorize anymore?
all of them.
Yeah.
Other people though, not so much.
What's the one the show 87653? You know, I got that one.
Yeah,
But I do have my wife's memorized. I do not have my child's
you're an
memorized.
awful father.
I know that's awful. I just don't know their phone number. I don't know my mom's phone number. I don't know anyone's phone number except my wife's
Okay.
and mine. Do you know how many phone numbers do you know?
I can still remember my best friend whenever I was 8 years old.
He's still got the same number.
Actually, he does. He still lives in the same house.
He needs to get a life.
Probably. I haven't called him in 20-some years, but I mean, you know, I know he's still there.
Right. So you got to have a list, and the list of names and contact information, and so that's your personal. So you got your risk assessment is your family and your VIP list. What kind of things can happen to your family?
Kidnapping? No.
Dude,
Hopefully
you go
not.
there first thing.
I mean, there can be. I mean, we've had this in my family. There's been medical emergencies.
Mm-hmm.
There can be natural disasters. There can be local events. We've talked about before with where the train tracks align.
Yeah, I
certain
have
chemicals.
a train track within 1 air mile of my house.
Yeah, and I mean, there's volatile chemicals, hazards that
Mhm.
are removed.
Yep.
Yeah, it can be any number of things, and it might not even be something that's extremely serious. It can be something as simple as a flat tire. I think I've told you before a story where I had my family with me, luckily, but we got a flat tire coming home on Independence, like right off of coming off of like 77.
So you
Rush
took your
hour.
AR out of the back and stopped the next car coming by? Is that what you did?
No, that would not have worked out very well.
Okay.
But it's amazing though. During rush hour, no one will stop to help you.
Oh, okay. Did
Yeah.
you have a tire?
Yeah, we did. It took about an hour to get out because it was rusted up in there. It had like one of those steel cables. That was
Right.
fun to get out. But having some sort of communication plan, say like, hey, if I'm not home at X amount of time, I'm either doing this or, come get me.
Come get me, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would change a tire on the side of the road, especially.
Yeah, well, the guy who actually showed up to help us, he pretty much just said, I need $100 cash. And none of us were carrying cash on us, so he just said, well, I'm going home for the evening.
Wow, so carrying cash can be important.
Yeah.
Okay, how about things locally? I mean, locally to we live in Charlotte area. I mean, we have nuclear plants nearby.
We still got those things?
Yeah, they still. Yeah, that's.
Hmm.
Thank goodness for them. We wouldn't be able to broadcast here. I mean, there's never been riots in Charlotte, North Carolina.
I could see it happening, though. I could see
But
it happening very, very easily.
I've never seen it even getting close to a riot. And we had a meeting. They had a Black Lives Matter, which they were concerned, and it actually got rained out, and they didn't reschedule it.
Yeah.
So they weren't very motivated in Charlotte.
Yeah.
But I just can't think of what other kind of. Well, we do get tornadoes a lot.
I've never seen one in Charlotte, though, per se. But, I mean, we did have Hugo years back.
Well, that's a
And that was
hurricane that came. That.
that would form more in the regional.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What if our power grid went out? I mean,
Yeah, that used to happen quite a bit. Remember the snowstorm we had? What was it?
It was ice storm, yeah.
like 12, 13 years ago.
oh yeah.
Everyone in Charlotte was practically living out of hotels for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was wonderful.
And so, how about your risk assessment for regional? Regional, definitely a hurricane on that.
Yeah. So I mean, I would say natural disaster, depending on where you're living. Like, again, doing a risk assessment, looking what fault lines you're in. Most people in North Carolina, South Carolina don't realize we're right on top of a fault line.
I do remember.
Yeah.
Because in this house, I don't know, 8 years ago, I was in my office and I actually felt the one that was in Virginia. You remember one went off in Virginia?
I was telling you, I think it was last week or the week prior. They actually determined that was not a, I'm forgetting the technical term for it now, but it wasn't a basically intercontinental earthquake. They said actually a chunk of our continent sunk back into the earth, and that's what caused it. It's very comforting.
Well, that's good because I thought maybe you said a nuclear weapon exploded and we didn't know about it. I don't know. You and your conspiracy
That was
theories.
off of Florida like a couple years ago.
Well, they dropped the one off of South Carolina. There's still one hidden. They dropped the bomb off the coast of South Carolina, and they don't know where it is.
That's brilliant.
And they've looked for it for years.
Was that whenever you were in charge of communication?
Yeah, that was me. Okay, drop it. Wait a second. Let me get off my flight simulator game. And then there's national. I mean,
I would say that's more social unrest, economic collapse.
yeah, that's what I would be more concerned with. Unless it's like an EMP.
Well, power grid attacks.
Power grid, internet. I mean, what? I mean, if the internet was shut down, which I'm not sure it could be, but if it was, I mean,
I think it could
do you
be.
think it could be?
I think it could be.
Because all banking every communication, banking transaction, everything goes through the internet.
It almost seems at times like there's kind of an agenda to do something like that, to reset everything.
You ever wish someone would do something?
I do.
Of course you do.
I actually pray about it nightly.
You're hoping it happens tomorrow, that you can practice, you can put in place the things you've learned.
Yes.
But you kind of sometimes, I mean, like, wish something would happen so people would start thinking about it.
Well, it's validating.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to be like, hey, I told you so. Like, part of my plan is to be like, depending on the scenario, first we have a cookout to celebrate, and I walk around telling everybody I said, I told you so. But it's definitely validating. You see stuff in the news that you were warning people about. I remember my old man. I told him maybe.
Did you call him your old man?
I call my old man. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, he is. He's 75.
Okay.
I told him maybe 8 years ago, hey, they're saying gas is going to go to $4 a gallon. That'll never happen. I was right. Just saying.
You're right. Awesome. Well, how about global? We talked about that in
World War III.
War III.
I read a really good quote from Albert Einstein. I'm just going to paraphrase it. And he said, basically, he knew not what weapons would be used during World War III, but he assured us World War IV would be fought with sticks and stones. Basically, just he could already see it back then. The tremendous increase in knowledge and technology.
So in putting together this plan, we've got to think of our risk assessments, our location, the people we have involved, our VIP list, even the tools we have. I mean, okay, what guns, what bug out bags, what food I have. All that's got to be on the table as you put this plan together. Correct?
No, absolutely.
Anything we're leaving out there?
No, I don't think so.
How about, for an example, let's say, crap hits the fan and there are things around you in your neighborhood or your bug out location that could be very useful to you.
Yeah. What about them?
Well, I mean, would that be in your plan to borrow maybe an EMP proof truck? Or
not the one that's parked out there right now.
Okay. Or if your neighborhood is getting dangerous, you move into a warehouse building where the workers aren't going to come back because things are real bad. I mean,
I think it's safe to say, if you're looking at, we used to talk about this a lot a while back whenever when I was on a different forum. You're looking at a rule of law society versus a without rule of law. And if I have to look at a without rule of law society and there's no determination that's coming back anytime soon.
You say everything goes then?
Well, the first place I'm going to hit up is a convenience store and probably a weave shop.
where you can get from the convenience store.
Well,
Smokes.
Butterfingers.
They're gonna melt, man. It's 100 degrees
Some
outside.
energy drinks, and
Dude,
yeah, that's probably about it.
why don't you have them things stored already?
I've been thinking about it, but my wife might kill me.
Yeah, because you'd eat them. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Okay, and putting together this plan. Actually, before we get into that, why don't we take a commercial break? Again, if you're on Blog Talk Radio, just jump over to Prepper Broadcasting. Join us in the chat room, and if you want to call in for a question, it's 347-202-0228, and press 1 to get into queue. And let's go to commercial break. We'll be right back. Mm-hmm. 3 spots total, he said.
And use promo code PEN checkout to receive 10% off. That's promo code PEN for 10%
How many people are in the?
preppersasylum.com.
TheWonderMill.com, the best grain mills on the market, with the ability to mill several items that many grain mills
Reference
will
now
not.
in
There are 2 grain mills to choose from. The
Forrest
Wondermill
and Jerry,
Electric,
so they might
its
be getting
app
ready.
gives you a vast variety of items it can grind. The Wonder Junior hand grain mill can grind a wide variety of things that even some of the most expensive hand grain mills cannot, including oily grains, nuts, and seeds. Learn more about the most resourceful tool that you may ever
Gulp
own.
strike.
See all the exciting things that Wondermill can do for you and what you eat at thewondermill.com.
Hey, I'm Joe Alton, MD. I'm here to remind you that disasters can happen anytime, anywhere, and you need to know what to do in an emergency. The new 2016 third edition of the Survival Medicine Handbook is the essential guide for when medical help is not on the way. The Survival
Okay, welcome back. Okay, let's get into. Oh, first of all, I want to mention tomorrow night is Golf Strike, Tommy at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right?
Yep.
He is. I've listened to his many times. Great podcast, great show that he puts on. That's tomorrow night at 9 o'clock. Actually, every night at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, there's a live show on the Prepper Broadcasting Network. So join in. So let's get into actually doing some planning. Okay. So these are some of the things that in my PDF. And so what I want to do is give someone something real to start thinking about. And these are some steps. I think the first step in any communication plan is communications, or any emergency plan, is communications. You've got to know where your peeps are. You've got to know where they are. You've got to have a way to get people together. Or you've got to know that they went to Aunt Susie's house, or Grandma's house, to give you some comfort, because moms and dads will go nuts if they don't know where their kids are.
Oh yeah.
And so the first thing in your emergency plan is communication. So let's say an event happens. Let's say it's not an EMP. The power grid goes down, or let's say the power grid goes down.
Okay.
And will cell phones work when the power grid goes down?
Technically they should.
They should.
But what happens if you're at 10% battery and you're trying to make the phone calls, and like every good iPhone, it dies.
Preppers never have 10% batteries. Come on.
It depends on how much you're playing Pokemon Go that day.
I guess so. So power grid goes down. Communication should work.
Yeah.
Every cell phone tower in North Carolina, I've verified this, has a generator, and it has gasoline on site. And
Good to know.
they do. They have for the generator. They have not gasoline. It's actually diesel. And it's roughly around 5 to 7 days worth of diesel that they have. It's a small there's not a lot of
Okay.
electricity. And they have a plan, an action plan, to go around and refuel each one of these generators, and they do have gasoline on site, meaning, or excuse me, I say gasoline, diesel, meaning they actually have stored diesel tanks all around North Carolina. And so when something happens, they have their own truck, and they can go fill these suckers up and keep them going for a long time, for about a month to 2 months.
Gotcha.
And I know that because I have a friend that he is in charge of a lot of cell towers.
Okay.
And he told me this. And then some of this next communications part about how the phone systems work, he also educated me on that as well. So the phone system should work, power grid down. Unless it was, they should still work. So the first thing is you call your family members. Hey, where are you?
Yeah.
I mean, your phone should still work. You just say, hey, where are you? Drive home.
Now, what happens if something's going on that just the phone servers are
Like a Sandy, where all the phones, you remember?
Yeah.
Sandy hit, phone systems, no one can make a phone call. The reason why no one can get a phone call is because it's not that the bandwidth on the internet is totally at capacity. It's actually the servers that handle the phone calls.
Gotcha. So
you can't get through because of the servers, not because the internet is jammed. So if you can't get a dial tone, you can't phone call, then you go to text messaging. You press your text. If it doesn't go through, again, it's not the bandwidth of the internet that's the problem. It's the servers. They get jammed. Everyone's trying to get their message out. They can handle a lot of text messages, though. Matter of fact, a lot of phones, when you hit it, it will keep trying to send.
Oh yeah.
And then you can hit it again, it will keep trying to send on its own. When the servers go down, then you can always email is a basic system. There is no way that an email server is going to get jammed. It's just not. I mean, Google pays hundreds of millions of dollars. So if you hit send, you type an email to your wife and you hit send, that email will get to your wife. It may be slow, but it will. It could say keep sending, because the DNS servers could get jammed, but it will go through.
I would just be in trouble because I'm the only one with a smartphone.
Yeah. Oh.
No.
So you're screwed. No. So then, does your wife not have a smartphone at all?
No.
Well, how are you going to talk to her on Zello?
No.
She doesn't know how to use a ham radio either, does she?
No.
Okay. We need some discipline here. So let's say your email. For some reason, your email is not going through.
Oh, you know what? We're good. She has an iPad.
Oh. But
It's good.
and she carries that and it's connected.
She practically does. She's on Pinterest. I mean,
Okay.
all the time.
Got you. So the next thing is a landline.
What are
Landline
those?
should. I know. I don't know. Do you have a phone in your house?
Yeah.
Well, that's probably because you have your own kid.
Yeah. I want to get rid of it though because it's pretty much telemarketers who call.
Right.
That's all.
We do not have a landline. Everyone has cell phones, no landlines. But that's where you have a booth you go into
Crank it.
and you crank it,
Okay.
put some money in, and you can call people.
Yes.
Yeah, I think you got to talk to a lady first. At least that's what they
I
have
think they
on-
switched over to a computer now.
Oh, okay.
That's all out of hand.
So use a landline. The second is a neat little app on the iPhone called Zello.
Yes.
Do you have it working yet?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I got it.
Well, Zello uses nothing but bandwidth. It's peer-to-peer. And so even if you can't get through on a cell phone, text messaging, email, Zello should work. Matter of fact, our after show is on Zello. We have a little channel. We go there and talk, and it's like the old Nextel radios.
Yeah.
I talk, everyone listens. Then someone else talks, everyone listens. It should always work if there's bandwidth on the internet and the internet's working. After that, you're screwed.
How screwed?
I mean, unless you have a ham radio. Do you have a ham radio?
Yeah, I do.
Do you know how to work your ham
No, I
radio?
need a program.
You have what, a Belfang radio?
Yeah, I do.
Well, you need me to program.
I have the Baofeng, and then I have some Motorola walkie-talkies, stuff like that. I'm normally getting a CB radio too.
Uh-huh. Well, I went and got my ham license. You know that. That
Yeah.
doesn't mean I know your license gives you a ticket to learn how to operate it. Just getting your license doesn't mean you know anything about ham radios.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just being honest. And so I do have my ham radio license, and I do know how to operate my ham radios. But if I'm the only one in my family that has a ham radio, I'm not going to be talking to anyone.
No.
So people need to be trained. If you look at a ham radio, and you know my ham radio people are going to hate I'm saying this. It's just like your mobile device, your little, little kids play with walkie-talkies and these little FRS, GMRS you can buy in any store.
Yeah.
If you look at your ham radio like that, to the basic, anyone can use it. If I tell you to go to frequency 141.664, anyone can figure out how to type that in. And if I tell you to go to that frequency, and I go to that frequency, I can press talk, you can press talk, and we can talk together.
Gotcha.
If we're within range.
Now let me play devil's advocate though.
Okay.
What happens if your ham radio doesn't work?
Why wouldn't it work?
Any number of events.
Okay.
Maybe you forgot your batteries.
Well,
Maybe you dropped it in the water.
Well,
Maybe there was multiple CMEs.
Okay, if the multiple CMEs will get me, but my current ham radio is got one in my car, got two in my car. I got one that is in a Faraday cage, which I shouldn't have to bring that one out because just the power grid went down. The other one is right in my console. I can grab it and talk. So if they both go down, then you're going to need. What's the one thing you need to do when you go hiking? You need to tell someone where you're going.
I thought you were going to say bury your.
What?
I thought you were going to say bury your own. Never mind.
Oh my word. No, you tell someone where you are. So throughout the day, 90% of the time, I know where every one of my family members are.
Yeah.
Would you agree? Would you?
Oh, yeah.
My wife may have gone to Walmart, but they're within a 1, 2, 3 mile area of my house, and I know most of the time where they are. So something happens. The key is, they don't go on street Y as I go on street X to go find them, and they're coming home, and we swap places. So the key is you have a plan of how to find your family members. And some markings, possibly.
Okay.
And I was telling you about, now I'm not saying I have this totally planned, but in my group, we'll take it to my group, we have call signs. Everyone has a call sign. And they're not gender, position, they're totally generic, like eagle.
Okay.
Or dove. You don't know if that's a woman, female, leader, infant. You don't know anything about it. So everyone has a call sign. We also have special markings. And we have marking places. So if we have a location where we're going to meet, I can go and put my marker there and let them know that I've been there. And I can leave a coded message as well.
So like if my wife were at church, something happened, I was at home, car wouldn't start or whatever, she's walking home, maybe she takes her lipstick, and every street sign she makes it to, she puts an L, something like that, or she puts an X, whatever.
Is that L for loser?
No, for her name.
Oh, okay.
She's gonna beat you up on church. On
No, I was talking about you. I was talking about you, not her. Oh my God, I'm more afraid of your wife than you. But put an L so she can say, "Hey, I've been by this sign."
Yeah.
And unless you know, hey, my wife was on this road, she's been by this sign.
Yeah.
So So what 4 places do your wife go? When she's out, she goes 90% of the time probably. Church,
Church, grocery store,
grocery store,
consignment shop.
consignment shop, mom and dad's.
Yeah.
So 90% of the time she goes somewhere. She's one of them 4 places. And so do you have routes picked out for her?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
they're pretty standard.
And so with the lipstick, you could go, even if you don't know, you can go, oh my gosh. And you could, go down one route and go, well, this isn't, and
Yeah.
you can backtrack and then go down another one possibly. And by that time, you may find her.
Yeah. Before I have to start
Or-
grabbing and interrogating people.
But would you do that in hour 0? I mean, when the first things start
No.
happening?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't do that first thing. I mean, basically the way it's going to work is, event happens. I give you 1 hour to make it home. At 2 hours, we agree upon, point A. I travel to point A. If you're not at point A, point B. 3rd hour, I'm there. So on and so on until we finally backtrack to where she would be.
Okay. But the key is getting everyone together. That's the most important thing. And so, so putting the plan together, and I don't have a plan to download. I went to ready.gov, I went to Homeland Security. They all have plans. None of them are really good, but there's so many plans out there. But I will be posting one that you can go through. You can put in frequencies, you can put in your call signs, you can put in your phone number list. I mean, this needs to be printed out on your person or in your everyday carry or your bug out bag. But it has all the information. It's kind of like you fill in the line, you fill in the blank.
Yeah.
And that is the communication plan, also places to meet. It goes through the basics. But in a good emergency plan, you need an EDC, right?
Yeah.
You need a bug out bag,
I wouldn't say you need a full-on bug out bag.
okay? But you need a plan. You need to know. Here's one of the things that bother me. Let's say that something happens. My kids are at school. I want my kids to just leave school. I don't want them to get permission and start walking home.
Yeah.
That it takes an act of Congress to get done, but it's done. My 18-year-old, 17-year-old kid knows how to get home. He knows how to defend himself. And if they have to walk, have to drive, but he needs the permission to take, the last place I want my kids are in school and crap hits the fan.
Yeah.
Because what's a government school, public school going to do?
They're going to turn on television and have you watch.
Well, not only that, they're going to hunker down and keep everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, the kids are safer at the school. I'm like,
No.
no.
In a gun-free zone.
And so you've got to put together a plan. And the last thing I want to do is, let's say the grid goes down, EMP, something major happened. The last thing I want to do is have to go get my kids. They're responsible enough to make it home. It's a 4-mile walk. Or drive. He's got a car. Get the kids and come home. Plain and simple. There's too many other things to do than to go get your kids.
Yeah.
Follow me on that?
Yeah, definitely.
And so, like in our group, if something happens, I'm not responsible for the kids. We actually have another person that lives right by the school that's responsible for all the kids. So we have a means of communication. Matter of fact, I would say five kids from our group go to the school. They would grab the kids and take care of them, and I know that happened. And we can communicate through ham radio, which are EMP proof. So worst case scenario, we still have communications, and we have tested that. and it works.
Gotcha.
But again, it's got to have a plan. And I will be posting this plan as soon as I finish with it. So the problem is I want to put it in a PDF, make it look better than what I have, the actual working version and the version I want to share with you guys. It also has all my information in there.
Yeah,
too.
that might be problematic.
I just noticed that as I'm scrolling down through here. I noticed the camera. We're videotaping this for YouTube, but the camera can't see any information in there. But I will finish this, post this underneath the podcast on the prepperacademy.com. I want everyone to go there.
Prepping Academy.
Prepping Academy. What did I say? Prepper?
Prepper Academy.
Yep. Preppingacademy.com. I want everyone to go there, check out what we're doing there. We're building an online school. It's going to be very interactive. We'll have online videos. You'll be able to, we'll have time every week where you can be face to face with an instructor to help you with your questions and walk you through almost any subject matter when it comes to prepping and survival. We're going to cover both of them. We'll have many instructors. We have tons of videos. We're just starting it out. But that's preppingacademy.com. We also have a members area where you can buy things very, very cheap. I'm not going to tell you, matter of fact, some of the things I have on there now I'm going to have to take off because I want only members to be able to see it, because I could probably lose some of my distributorships if they knew how cheap I was selling some of this stuff. And we're adding that some of the thing every week. That's preppingacademy.com. You can also listen to all our archive shows. We also videotape our shows. Soon we'll be doing it live. That's just too much to handle right now. Is an audio version and a video version, setting it up, making sure both are working. I'm slow. It takes me a while. But so join us over at preppingacademy.com. Sign up for a mailing list. Now, a mailing list, we are doing a giveaway that is unbelievable. And let me just tell you some of the things that we're going to be giving away since you're here.
Yes.
So we're going to be giving away a SunJack solar charger. It charges batteries. So you lay this solar charger out. It charges 2 battery packs. It can charge a phone. It's awesome. They're one of my sponsors. Also, Tack Bar. And you see them up there. That's
yep.
All the Tack Bar. I have them in the house right now. It's a survival kit. It's a ammo can with 5 emergency bars that are really good. Much better than the other crap people put out.
Yeah, I've had some very,
and it's like all natural products too. It's pretty cool. It's 12,500 calories. It has purification tablets. It has a little small survival kit in there. Then we also have a Sawyer mini filter. Mini filter. It's a water filtration system. And then we have also, we're going to give away a lifetime membership to our academy. That means you get all videos, the consulting, all that kind of stuff for free. So that's going to be our drawing. We're going to have, it's $450 in value.
Nice.
That's nice. So any more on the putting together a plan? The biggest step, the biggest hurdle for people to get over to put together a plan is to sit down and do it.
Yeah.
They want to do it, but just to sit down and actually do it.
Well, and then convince your significant other, your friends,
That's
family,
always a problem.
that you're not crazy.
You put it in a sealed envelope and say, honey, if something happens, open this and read it. Okay. Clean your britches first.
Yes. Yeah.
So, you want to talk about next week's show?
Next week, yeah.
I think it's next week. It's either next week or the week after. We're not sure.
You gotta hammer that down. Well, next week, like I said, is my birthday.
Oh yeah,
so-
next week's your birthday, which is I can't believe you're 68 and you still celebrate birthdays. Okay.
Cute.
No.
Cute.
Let me I don't even know your age. Let me guess your age. I'd
Yeah.
say 34.
Yeah, close.
Close.
Very close.
Very close. Okay. That's your spring chicken.
Someone else said it was 28, but whatever.
No. Mm-mm.
If I
Well,
shave.
I know you're older than you look, and that's why I said 34.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
you always mention how people think you look young.
Yeah.
Seems
33.
Oh gosh, I was real close.
Yeah, very close.
Okay. So we are going to have Survivor Jane either next week or the week after. She's supposed to pick the date. She's supposed to get back to me. Survivor Jane had one of the best scores ever on Doomsday Preppers. She wasn't one of the wackos. Her and Rick Austin's her husband.
Yeah.
But they weren't the wackos. But they had one of the best scores. And the reason they had the best scores because her husband does a thing called the secret garden. So he has a garden in his yard and you don't know it's there.
Yeah.
It's like hidden. It's like magic.
Just everything's worked in next to other trees and places. And the other thing is too, it's not just that it's hidden; it's there's working off of other plants.
Right.
So it's companioned.
Right. But they had one of the highest ratings. One other guy beat them. There was like a multi-millionaire that had like, I forgot how many million. He spent $7 million. You remember that guy?
Yeah.
He's the only guy that had a higher score than Rick and Jane Austen. But her name is Survivor Jane. They're putting together a prepper camp in Saluda, North Carolina next month. And so we're going to talk about that. Got some questions for her. About how that's going. I know that I've got about 150 plus people that is going to that with the Carolina Prepper Network, Carolina Preppers Network. If you want to look that up, but 150 plus people have signed up to go to that. Last year we took around, I guess 80, so we're almost doubling it. But what it is, it's a 3-day event of classes and networking. That's the reason I go. I mean, not that I know everything,
Yeah.
but I go for the networking to meet the people. And I'm speaking this year. I'm teaching on some very top secret, highly classified items. That's all I can say. No, I'm actually I'm doing software defined radio, SDR, which most people don't even. They're like, what?
Yeah.
But look it up. It's software defined radio. Without internet access, you can track planes. You can download weather maps from the satellites. You can listen to almost any frequency transmitted. Really, I mean, because the tuner is in the software, not the electronics. So you can literally and physically listen to any ham radio, any radio that is being broadcasted. You can listen to it from a computer. It's pretty cool. And some of the other things we're going to cover is like security on the internet. I'm going to go over the deep web, the dark net, how to text message securely, how to do email securely, who you're hiding from. You know, we're going to go through all that. It's very, very high tech, very techy, but that's what I'm going to be speaking on 3 days at Prepper Camp in Saluda. The URL for that is preppercamp.com. I think they still have tickets. I mean, I know William Fortune, which we're having on our show in a month or so. 1 second after, Deb Raff, 1 year after. He's going to be. He's the keynote speaker. Doom and Bloom, they're there. Skinny Medic. I mean, there's a lot of big names that come out to that. So what do you got planned? Oh, we got a prepper meeting here in Charlotte on Thursday night.
Thursday.
This one it's 3 skills night.
Yes.
rabbits, chickens, and honeymead.
Yeah.
So we got 3 people that's going to teach you almost everything you need to know to do them 3 skills.
And we're cooking one of the rabbits, right?
We're cooking a rabbit. Oh yeah, I'm the rabbit guy. So I'll be teaching on the rabbits, and got Joe is doing the honeymead, and we got Bruce that's doing the chickens. And so, because you don't need to be a genius to do these things. So we're going to take about, I think, 35 minutes apiece and hit them with some information, and hope that they'll take what we're going to teach them and we'll put it in practice.
Very cool.
So we got 2 minutes left.
2 minutes. Well,
So definitely want people to go to the preppingacademy.com, sign up for a mailing list, and be thinking of email us a conspiracy theory you want Kyle to check out.
yes.
Sign up for a contest next week. I hope it's either the next week or the week after. We got some good subject matters coming up though.
Yeah.
Some good
Definitely.
shows. We're going to add on to, we've done part 1 and part 2 of intro to prepping, walking someone through a year of prepping. We're going to do 3 and 4. We're in the process of getting that ready. What else you got to say?
Not much else going on, man. I'm just.
Your birthday's next week. You're looking
my
forward to
birthday,
that?
Yeah, most definitely.
Well,
Some time off.
Some time off. Well, again, guys, join us at preppingacademy.com. Hey, join us for the after show too. Go over to preppingacademy.com. You'll see the information on how to download Zillow, join into our group, and we're going to have an after show talking on Zillow. So, hope everybody has a good week, and we shall see you guys next week.
Yeah. I'll even be here for my birthday.
You'll be here on his birthday.
You better have
Okay.
cake.
No, okay. Everybody, guys, thanks a lot. You guys take care.